Okay, so you just got done explaining the process of it and whatnot. So, you were doing it for how long before you sold your first piece?
Oh wow, 4 or 5 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, before I sold any.
And before that, were you interested in other kinds of arts, drawing, painting, anything like
Yeah,
that?
so I did a lot of drawing and painting in school, but I never considered myself an artist by any stretch of the imagination. I always admired people that could pick up a pen and paper and draw something. That was not something I could ever do. But I can draw if I can reference something. I can
That's
draw.
exactly what I've done. I've looked at images and, you know,
Hmm.
done the same thing. And honestly, I think that as long as you're not, I guess, tracing,
Right,
then
right,
I don't see if there's anything
right.
wrong with that at all. But I
Yeah,
get what you mean because, like, I've made some pretty decent drawings and stuff, but I never considered myself an artist per se.
right, right.
Um, so how did you end up selling your first piece?
So it was a lady I met here in town who's now my landlady.
Okay.
She is an artist herself. So a huge compliment for another artist to want to buy your
Yeah,
art.
and I'm sure there was some appreciation on both levels for each other,
Absolutely.
you know, as artists.
Yeah, she was hanging art at a new retirement facility here in Westminster, and we had like hundreds of pieces of art, and she needed more than what she had. And when I showed her some of my pieces, she started buying them. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, what got you into doing it exactly?
Um, just I watched something on YouTube one day and it looked really cool, and I told my wife at the time that I wanted to go buy some supplies and start trying to do this, and she was down with it. It was something for me to do, fill some time. Little did I know it would consume me. I turned my weight training room into an art studio, and
What kind of like setup does it require?
well, you need something you can make a mess in for sure. Like you don't
Yeah.
want a floor you need to worry about because you spill paint
Yeah,
everywhere.
I've seen videos where basically they have an empty canvas and then they take a paint can and stuff and they
Yeah,
spin it around the room.
yeah,
So, is it a similar sort of, you
yeah.
know?
That's one technique that people do use for pouring. Yeah, there's a variety of different techniques you can do. Yeah,
I
I've seen
gotcha.
people take like somehow they have a 18 different colors in some sort of a device and they just swash it across and tilt it, and yeah, there's all kinds of different ways you can do it. It's pretty cool.
I
But you
gotcha.
don't want to be in a room that you need to worry about making a mess in for sure.
Yeah, is there any like uh prominent people in this kind of field of
You know,
acrylic pouring?
I don't really think so. I think it's so common that, and everybody has their own little niche, their own little style that they do. I don't think it's anything that's going to make anybody famous per se.
I gotcha. So after your first piece, what kind of like confidence boost did that give you, or like inspiration to keep going?
Oh, so I still have my first piece. I'll hold on to that one. That's one I won't sell
Right.
because it turned out it was just. I've been fortunate like that. Like I've also done artwork on gourds. Gourds are it's a legume. It's like a pumpkin or a big
Okay.
squash, and then they dry them out, and you can make certain artwork with them. First gourd I ever did, the lady that taught me how to do them, she was like, "Yours looks better than I've been doing this for 5 years." Anyhow, I've just been blessed like that in some ways. But the first acrylic pour I did turned out really cool, so I was like hooked immediately on it.
Right. I was saying like, once you sold your first piece,
Oh
after that,
yeah.
I imagine you got like a huge boost of like, yeah,
Oh
I can actually do this and,
yeah. I haven't finished. I just moved, so I haven't finished my art studio at my new place yet. So I'm frothing at the bit. They start pouring some paint again because
I
I just
gotcha.
haven't been able to do it though with the move and school starting. So
Yeah, no doubt. So yeah, this is the last bit of bullet point to talk about. You said you traveled to Texas to reunite with your son after 26 years.
26 years, yes sir.
Yeah, so take the floor and talk about that.
Um, so yeah, I got a son that was born when I was 22. So my son was born when I was 22. I was still in the army, and when he was so last time I saw him, he was 3. He was adopted by my ex-wife's husband, and I didn't see him for 26 years. I found him probably 6 years ago or so, 7 years ago. I mean, I had his mom had kept me posted over the years on certain things and sent me pictures and whatnot. But
Right.
I decided to track him down myself, and I found him on Facebook, and I contacted his mom to make sure that he was okay with me contacting him first,
Yeah.
because I didn't want to just surprise him. Like maybe he didn't even know I was his dad. You know what I
Right.
mean?
That
Like,
sort of thing can definitely be like if you don't know, it's
right.
yeah.
He'd be like, "What the fuck you mean you're my dad?" Like, I got a dad. I don't know what you're talking about. So but he knew all about me, and
I
he
gotcha.
remembered because I was involved in his life up until he was 6.
Okay.
So he remembers some things. But then I gave up custody, and he was adopted at 6. So, but I hadn't seen him since he was 3. So, yeah, I traveled down to Houston last week and reunited. It was like a Hallmark movie, man. It was great. We had just everything couldn't have been better, man. We had a lot in common.
Nice.
It's amazing what DNA plays in our lives.
Yeah, it really is. It's yeah, the similarities, not just in looks, but like mannerisms and
Thought processes
yeah,
and
it's weird thing is like when my uncle passed on my mom's side, I remember her telling me that several people apparently like said that I walked the same as him. I had the same like swag, I guess, to my walk.
right,
I
right.
just like walked a certain way. I've had people at like friends at work kind of point that out. My buddy I was telling you about that joined the army. He might even be listening. Brady is his name.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he made he cracked a joke one time. He's like walking up to me. It's not that
Right,
exaggerated,
right,
but like definite. I don't know. It's just something natural, But
right.
like to know that like people notice such little things like that,
Yeah.
and yeah, it is crazy because my dad, I have a lot of half brothers and stuff like that. So like I remember meeting one of my brothers for the first time. It was stuff like that's crazy, especially when they look exactly alike.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That is scary. That's killing right there.
yeah, my brother Matt, the one who was a ranger and stuff. At first, it was like I would look at him and then look at my dad, and like sometimes, you kind of don't even see a difference. Super weird.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so what kind of stuff were y'all doing?
Oh man, we hung out. We went to Top Golf, hit some golf balls. He loves to cook, so
So that's one of the random similarities and stuff like that.
yeah, that's why I gave him that chef's knife when I went
Gotcha.
down there. I had a custom box made for it by a local
Nice.
carpenter here, Joe Fleck. Shout out to Joe Fleck. He made an awesome custom made box for my
Hell
knife.
yeah.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So yeah, I wanted to give him some because I didn't get anything when my father died. Um, I literally didn't get anything that was of any significance to my father, so I wanted my son to have something so, you know, he can pass it down to his son.
Yeah, that stuff's important, and
Oh, I think so, yeah.
yeah, even if it's little things,
Oh, yeah.
like my mom has all sorts of plates, china, cookware, and stuff
Right.
like that that her grandmother used, and
Yep.
it's you just people kind of now I don't know if it's nowadays, just some people I guess lose respect for anything that has
I mean,
sentiment,
it would have been like my dad was a federal law enforcement officer. She could have gave me one of his police badges.
Right.
So you know what I mean? Something that would have had some real meaning. I would have had it framed and blah blah blah. But oh well.
Yeah, was there anything else on that you wanted to touch on?
No, no, just I mean, other than it gave me a lot of inspiration to go down there and see him, and to know after that many years that you can still reconcile things, and
Definitely.
people don't always hold a grudge, and I was expecting him to resent me for certain things, but it was just the opposite.
Yeah, I have a sibling that I'm in that situation where like I don't even know if he knows about me. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
really?
Yeah, because not even to get into it too much because it's not even really my area to say much, but it was a thing where it was just never really like I guess allowed for us to really know about each other, see
Gotcha.
each other. Just our
Right.
lives were never really even intertwined at all. But I found out about him because he was in a paper, like a newspaper for I forgot what happened, right? But something had happened medically, and he needed like some sort of tissue and stuff
Oh,
like that.
really?
Yeah, I think it might have even been like a form of cancer or something like
No
that. He
kidding.
got a pretty bad disease or whatnot. And him and his buddy went to the prom together as Dumb and Dumber, and
Oh,
they
really?
dressed up in the suits and stuff like that.
Huh.
But like, yeah, looking at the picture, like I could see the resemblance to my dad and
No
whatnot.
kidding.
Yeah, but like,
Wow.
I have no idea if he even knows that I and his other fucking like 5, 6 half brothers exist. You know
Right.
what I mean? And I have thought about like reaching out and stuff like that. I think I even messaged like someone because I don't think he's on social medias and stuff like
Mm.
that. But I think I found like a girlfriend or something and sent a message maybe. But
Well, I have a daughter. She's 15. We haven't seen each other now since she was 12. Yeah, that's a hard topic there, but she's not met her brother yet. They've
mm,
never met, so he's like anxious to want to meet her.
yeah,
He's like, man, I got a sister. I never met her. You know, like I really want to meet her.
yeah, it's a lot touchier than people think. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's easy for me to reach out, but like for him to receive that sort of
Right.
information, like who knows what he knows about everything. You know what
True.
I mean?
Yeah.
Because I can speak for my dad. Like he is in touch with his children's lives and stuff like that. He would never like want to not be a part of his kid's life,
Right.
And I know like a lot of stuff just tends to get misconstrued and people get wrong information based off of whatever source of information that they have. So yeah, some last couple little things. Back to like the punk days and stuff like that. I'm assuming that's still part of your music choices and stuff like that.
Yes, I mean I listen to a whole spectrum of stuff,
Yeah,
man.
talk about any kind of music you're into.
Oh man, I'll listen to anything like on my Amazon Music from today's adult hits music to when I'm at work. I'll turn on. My latest has been AJ Gent. He's a blues guy,
Hell yeah.
and then it just auto plays into a cool mix of a ton of different blues type music that I just really everybody at the lounge seems to really like it.
Yeah, it's for some reason like jazz and blues just seems like a great cigar lounge.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
just puts you in that
yep,
nice, elegant
yep.
kind of vibe.
Yeah, there's one band, Supersonic Blues Machine. They play some awesome
I
music.
love Howlin' Wolf.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite like blues artist.
There's I'll tell you real quick here. My son turned me on to this Star Funk.
Starfunk. Okay.
Oh man, they play covers of like this one here was Never Gonna Give You Up,
Oh, okay.
but it's all funk, man. Like
Interesting. I'm gonna look up that one
oh
specifically
dude, it's
because
tight.
that's such like a meme song. You know what I mean?
They jam on it, man, and they have every so the band stays the same, but their singer comes is always different. So they have a different cover singer
Okay.
for different songs. Like one of them was a Michael Jackson song. Yeah, "They're Never Gonna Give You Up" is a great one, man.
When it comes to the punk scene days and stuff, because a lot of my viewer base is like the local hardcore
Yeah,
scene.
yeah,
Do you have any interesting stories from those days, whether it be just wild, crazy shows, injuries in the mosh pits,
man. All the
anything?
above. I mean, a lot of them I don't remember because we were just too intoxicated during that
That's
time.
such a common thing I hear on my podcast, so I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really remember a lot of those nights because we were just wasted. But house parties were a huge thing back then. We
Right.
would mosh at people's houses. You wouldn't have to go to a live show. This was before. Well, when I moved here, I guess 930 Club was the place to go. That was back in the late '80s. So
And where was this at?
this is in Georgetown.
Okay.
Yeah, 930 Club in Georgetown. That would have been the place to go. But when I was in Pittsburgh, man, it was just wherever we could have a party, we would throw down. And
Yeah, those are some of the best shows to go to as well.
yeah, there was a cool punk scene, but we were always outcasts. You know what I mean? Like,
I imagine because the Philly hardcore scene is one of the biggest scenes in hardcore, so I imagine it's like most of the Pennsylvania hardcore scene was much more attracted to Philly, I bet.
yeah, where I was at, there was a lot of preppies and stuff like
Mm.
that. The schools I went to.
So it wasn't even a popular thing.
Oh no! Like we had different colored hair, and we were,
Any opposition to the normal culture
Oh
is
yeah, we were
just
patronized, man. It was terrible.
yeah, that's a common thing
Yeah.
I like to talk about because I was, I got I wasn't bullied or nothing, but I had comments made about, the style of music I listened to, the way I dressed, having black
Yeah.
fingernails in elementary school. Nowadays that's not even really a thing.
Right, right. People
Like
don't
if,
look twice if you got a big nose ring and hoops,
yeah,
or it doesn't matter.
but
Just
yeah.
tattooing. You know, back then nobody had tattoos.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot more accepting, which is good, but at the same time, it's like it's just crazy to see
Right.
the type of people that would make fun of you are now accepting. Which
Right.
That's what's ingenuine, It's like there's this band Turnstile that's gotten really, really big. They're a Baltimore hardcore band, and a lot of people are just kind of hating on the fact that they're big now and they think they've sold out and whatnot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but people just don't get like if they were in that opportunity, they'd take it too.
Yeah. How could you deny that?
Yeah. I kind of forget where I was going with that, but it's just along the lines of like people will hate on you, and then once it's big, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because I think you said the word normies, and that's a thing. A lot of
Right.
when normies come to the hardcore scene, sometimes things just don't happen in a good way
Right.
because they don't know what the vibes are like, So when something,
Yeah, it's like back. I remember like heavy metal back in the day was Metallica.
yeah,
Like if you listen to Metallica or Black Sabbath, for God forbid, you listen to Black Sabbath, or any of those bands, you were Pantera and stuff like that. That wasn't in the mainstream at all.
Yeah.
You were considered a heavy metal head or something. But now Metallica, everybody.
Yeah, Stranger Things kind of they had Metallica in their show basically, like they played one of their songs and had one of the characters like as a rock star.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, so it got like I think it was Master of Puppets or whatever got super popular for a while. And like obviously it's good for that sort of attention, but so
Right.
many metalheads were like, "Man, these fucking kids don't know nothing about this," And it's like
Right.
it's kind of a poser like kind of thing. So it's
Sure.
like there's arguments where it's
Hmm.
like do you want it to get big? Do you want these people to know about it? It's like the more accepting it gets, the more
Well,
twisted it can get.
if you listen to that band that I was telling you about, that
Starfunk.
Starfunk, man, the fact I heard my son and his father, and he was singing songs that his father-in-law knew and that I knew. It was just cool, that he would hear that genre of music and know it just through a different genre now, though.
Yeah,
It's
no
pretty cool.
doubt. I mean, I like it when it becomes a trend, but it's like I said, when you see the people that made fun of you,
Right.
start using that as a trend and whatnot, you're like, man, that's a little hypocritical, I
Yeah.
guess. So the only other thing I had, you into any movies and TV shows right now?
I'm definitely a movie fan. I have a go-to. A lot of times if I see a movie and I really like it, I'll watch it again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
And I'm that way with like the John Wick series.
Okay, yeah.
I'm the same way with Sicario. I love Sicario.
Yeah, hell yeah.
A lot of military movies I do like. 13
Yeah.
Hours. That's another good one I like.
There's a really good Benghazi movie too.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it was even called like something Benghazi.
It's 13 Hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was an excellent.
Yeah.
Wasn't it multiple parts?
Yeah. It was 2.5 hours long too. 2.5, 4 hours. Yeah, it was a long movie, but it was really good. It was well done.
I gotcha. That was pretty much everything I had. I didn't know if
Right
there was
on.
anything else that you wanted to bring up.
No,
Or
man,
that
we covered a
anything
lot
that
of
people should
ground,
hear.
man. Yeah, just like I said before, just like I'm meeting you. You know what I mean? You never know who you're gonna meet and what opportunities are gonna be created, and just because sometimes things are bad doesn't mean they're not gonna get good. I guess that's
Absolutely.
the theme that I'd like to set.
Hell yeah. I
So,
want to thank you again for coming on.
appreciate you, John.
Absolutely. That was